Mountain biking can be dangerous, I'm sure we all know that. Here are 5 of the scariest obstacles and how to overcome that fear. Number 1, fast, loose corners. Whilst they don't look that scary, things can go wrong here really fast. A slide or a crash here could be really bad. So my first piece of advice would be have really smooth inputs to the bike. So when cornering, really smooth lines, trying to open up the corner, any big turn or anything with the brakes, and you can find you can start sliding really quickly. So be smooth with your line and with the brakes. Also, don't forget something like this where it's bermed. All the loose bits will fall to the bottom with gravity, so really stay away from the bottom of that berm. It's going to be really slippy there. So in this example, this corner is really actually quite smooth, so I can get nice and low to the bike. I don't have any big rough bumps to try and absorb. So nice and low is going to lower my centre of gravity and give me a bit more grip. And then it's really trying to be prepared for a slide. And that is down to a few things. It really comes down to experience. So riding slippy trails a lot, your instincts will become better and you'll actually sort of predict, hopefully, when you're going to slide. Things like the feel of it, the speed you're going, for how tight the corner is, but also on this corner, for example, it's really gravelly and I can hear my tyres just starting to slide before they really lose traction. Another example of a fast corner here, and this one really comes down to line choice. You can see up on the main line, there isn't that much support, there's a little bit of a berm, but the best thing about it is it's really hard pack, it's actually really grippy dirt. If you go a foot to rider's right, you've now got all this loose gravel stuff on top of that hard pack, so that's going to be really slippy. So this corner is all about line choice. Northshore sections can be really scary, especially if they're narrow on exposed parts of the hillside like this here. I think if you go off the side on this part, you're going to need a parachute. But really, the skills on this section are going to be exactly the same as on that really exposed section. So it's really a mental thing. Just think about taking it easy on Northshore, work out your levels of grip. It's something that I really wouldn't want to fall off on. It's going to be hard, obviously on the wood, or you could fall off the side. So take it easy and bear in mind that in the wet, it can be really slippy. So on the scary exposed part of the trail, I would say ride in the middle. Obviously riding off the right-hand side here, it's going to be pretty scary. But also if you're trying to overcompensate and come too far to the left, you could end up clipping your pedal on this rock. And that's going to have the same effect, probably sending you off that side. So try and keep your head up, look at where the trail's going and try and stick in the middle of the trail. Rock sections can be really intimidating because you really don't want to crash here. It can be super painful. Here I've got a bit of bedrock, which is actually surprisingly grippy, even in the wet. So I'm not going to worry too much about sliding around. This section is getting a bit more rough now, so picking a good line, a smooth line is going to be really important, but also trying to avoid those wheel size holes. And then I'm just going to use all that movement in my arms and legs to try and smooth out those dips and bumps where I can't avoid them. This section now, it's getting more steep, so I'm thinking about maybe coming off the brakes a little bit, and even if I get out of control, I'm going to look to where I can get back in control, and there's a grippy section just at the bottom of this rock slab. In a rock section like this, where it's just really rough, there aren't any massive holes. The good technique is just to stay back on the bike. So drop your heels slightly, keep your head up, keep that front wheel light, so there's no chance of you hitting something too hard, hopefully, and get a sun up and over the bars. Try and stay loose on the bike and unweight if there are any big holes. When you're a novice rider and you start going off drop-offs, you can get that horrible feeling of your front wheel disappearing into thin air and get a pull forward as if you're going straight over the bars. So a good manual technique is really important for keeping that front wheel up and in the air. You can practice manuals anywhere, so it's dead easy to learn. Think about pumping down towards the bike and then sliding back with your hips, making sure that your head is up and your arms are locked so that your front wheel doesn't start going one way or the other. Moving on to bigger drop-offs, it's really important to have that skill nailed because you've got so much more time in the air, there's more time for it to go wrong, the consequences are going to be much worse. So nail that skill on the small drop-offs, slow it down to make sure you can still land 2 wheels at the same time, and then it's exactly the same skill on the big drop-offs. Judging the correct speed for jumps is really important because coming up short and overshooting could be just as bad as each other. So that's going to come with a bit of experience. Like anything, start with small jumps, with tabletops, learn what speed you need for those, or sometimes you just follow a friend if they can do that jump already. When it comes to technique, the bunny hop is really important because getting your weight to lift the wheels into the air is also going to give you the ability to make height on a jump. If you're just relying on pulling or pushing with the arms and legs, then you're only ever going to be able to make that much height before you run out of space. So again, practice that bunny hop technique. Doubles can start to get really scary because now there's a gap that you've got to clear. This is where the bunny hop technique gets really important, because if you come in and you realise you're going too slow, you're not going to make it, then you can give it a big pump, get more lift, and even in the air, you can then tuck the bike up to you to hopefully make the distance to clear that jump. It's also really important with double jumps that you commit to doing it. So definitely take your time to scope out that jump, try and judge the speed, but once you've decided that you're going to do it, do it. It's really bad news to actually head towards it and then think, oh, am I going to do it? Aren't I going to do it? Then hit the brakes. You've got to be super committed and confident that you're going to clear that double. So don't worry, being scared is all part of mountain biking, even at the highest level. So just take your time, progress with your skills, and hopefully you'll start feeling more confident. Click on the GMN logo to subscribe if you haven't done already, and click over there for a how to bunny hop video, an essential skill. Down there for how to ride rock gardens with Nico Mullally. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video.